community, especially Zambian, especially Black, especially African, we are left behind when it comes to finances. We are late, we are very late to the game. Yeah, and so we'll continue on this theme. Now, I guess while we're settling in here, we're building a legacy. What is a legacy? It is something you leave behind. And in this case, we're talking about what? Money, assets you're going to leave behind. Just short hand. Okay, anybody with 20 years? Okay, anybody worked over 20 years? Okay, all right. So you've been working so hard. Don't eat me. You're still working. Oh, you're still working. All right. Okay. Now don't raise your hands on this one here. We've been working so hard for the last 10 years. Many of us have actually saved $1 million. $1 million, yes. In any way, we got $1 million saved anyway. Yeah, whatever. Don't raise. You don't have to raise. Yeah. How many have saved $1 million? How many have saved $2 million? Or even just what? 200,000. Majority now. We have some here who've done that, but the average person, we're still working hard. We're still working hard day and night. That's the reality, right? Yeah. And so it's important. This theme, this topic of money. Before, work requires money. Why did God give the Israelites? Why were the Israelites a chosen people? Why did God choose the Israelites? To witness to other people, right? Yeah, He used them to witness to other people. God has put us here, witness not just to ourselves, but to other people. And so a lot of us, we're supposed to be taking care of people out. A lot of us, we are struggling financially, and so it's hard to take care of others when you can barely take care of yourself. And so we're looking at building all the time. Now, we've been talking about building wealth and all of this. What is easier? Tell me this, what is easier, to build wealth or to buy wealth? Yeah, now a lot of us, we've been working for 20, 30 years. We have $500,000 saved, we have $2 million saved. In fact, we could work for another 20, 30, 40 years and still be in the same place. Yeah, something is wrong with that. Something is wrong with that. And so, when we talk about this, building wealth is great. It's great. We've got to build wealth. And the beautiful thing about America is that there's so many opportunities. I'm sure we are learning a lot of things here that perhaps we've never heard of. There's so many ways to get to your goal. A lot of us end up being lost along the way because we don't have the financial knowledge, or we don't just have the knowledge, And so, just a few statistics here. I'll just run through this, and this has been talked about already. This is just some info from where did I get this from? From the Federal Reserve. On the Federal Reserve, this is the net worth. We talked about net worth this morning. Net worth of the Black family. The net worth of the Black family. If you look at the smallest graph on there, the smallest one, that's the Black family. That's the Black family. And so the median net worth of the Black family is about what? $24,000. Compare that to the Caucasian or the white, whose median is about what? That's a whole lot, about 7 times more. Now, we're talking about leaving a legacy. How can you leave a legacy? How can you leave assets and money when you only have $24,000? You cannot. You can. Now, this is one of my favorite verses. Proverbs 13, verse 22. It says, a good man does what? For his children's children. Children's children. Yeah, not just the children, but what? The children's children, so the grandkids. Now, among us, again, we are struggling. We are being able to take care of ourselves. Yes, alone our children. Now, to throw in the grandkids in, there's something else. And so, yeah. Now, the Bible has the rights. I know, African culture, the kids are supposed to take care of parents when they get old. When they get old. But biblical that parents were responsible for taking care of the kids. In fact, we're responsible for taking care of what? Grandkids. So they leave behind an inheritance leave behind an inheritance. I think of the patriarchs in the Bible like or Abraham. This guy had a lot of money. Dr. Kalambata talked about this earlier on about how a lot of us seem to have this issue with this mentality that because we are Christians we shouldn't have money or we shouldn't be wealthy. That's a horrible, horrible mentality. And so there's some obstacles. I'm just going to run through this here. I know our time is limited here, but a few obstacles to building wealth. Some of these have been talked about, but one I want to talk debt. Of course, a lot of us are living beyond our means. Now, there's good debt. There's good debt, but you get a good reasonable mortgage or something. But at the end of the day, does that house belong to you? If you have a mortgage, that house is not yours. Why? Because the day you cannot pay your mortgage, guess what? They take it away. So now, all these are some obstacles. Now, I want to touch a little bit just on the last one there. Emergencies. Emergencies. How obstacles to building wealth. The reason why we don't build wealth, or some of the reasons, emergencies. When we talk about emergencies, we're looking at things like what? Like death. The breadwinner passes away. What becomes of the family? Yeah? Another thing we don't think about, illness. Our ability to earn and make money is dependent on what? Our health. But mostly our health. And so the day you get sick, the average person, 95%, the day you get sick, what happens? You get sick, you can't go to work. If you can't work, no paycheck. If there's no paycheck, guess what? It's the beginning of the end. Yeah? And so the great thing about being here in America is that what? There are options. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of resources. There's a lot of things. A lot of times, we get caught up in our own selves that we don't make the time to learn. And even when somebody stands up and starts talking about some of these things, we're skeptical. Instead of, it's okay to be skeptical, but just don't let that stop you from making an informed. And so part of what we're doing here is just sharing some information. And so if you could not work, for those of you who are working right now, I know we've got some people with good money in here, like my brother. And so if you could not work, you got sick and could not work for the next 6 months, for the next 1 year, for the next 5 years, what do you have in place to take care of you and your family? We've got all these plans for projects back home and all this stuff, which is all great. Yeah, which is all great. But if you could not work, and this is one of the questions I ask a lot of my clients, because we don't think about this. We think that we're going to continue working forever, right? Yeah. So think about it. If you could not work, I'm not here to instill any fear or anything in any. I worked as a nurse for 15 years. I was fortunate enough to retire from nursing and actually do what I love doing, which is this here. I'm an introvert, so very much, but there's times where I enjoy the spotlight, And so if you see me get a little passionate up here, if you see me get a little excited, hey, it's just because I love what I do. I love what I do. It's just a little passion. And so a lot of us are not prepared for stuff. There's a lot of things that we're not prepared for. And so again, and all these wealthy families, they took time to build what? The wealth. It took time to build wealth. Now, what are we talking about when we talk about buying wealth? Buying wealth, yeah? Insurance. One thing that the wealthy people have, they have tons of insurance. A lot of things are insured. How many of us have insurance on our homes? Show of hands, yeah? Yeah, most of us have got insurance on our homes. Why do we have insurance on our homes?
It's required.
Yeah, okay, yeah. It's required, but then also, why else? Peace of mind, no? Yeah, we've got insurance on our clients, thousands and thousands of dollars. Now, what about insuring your most important asset? We say your health. For most of you, yeah. Now I'll tell you, this is a topic that a lot of us are afraid of. When you talk of life insurance, a lot of us are afraid of this topic. Yeah, why is that? Because most of us, we have been misinformed. A lot of us have been brainwashed to believe that life insurance is all about just dying. Yeah. Life insurance is not just about dying. We've been brainwashed for years that you have to die in order to benefit. But no, there's life insurance. Life insurance And life insurance, not only can you use it to do things like what? Not only can you use it for the death benefit, not only do you get money, or your loved ones get money out of the picture, but the right type of life insurance can be used for things like what? Saving up for college for kids. Yeah? Right type of life insurance can be used for doing what? For protection against critical illnesses. You have a heart attack, stroke, cancer, there's money coming. You don't have to worry about, hey, how am I going to pay my mortgage? How am I going to take care of whatever? So it's important. I know we talk of life insurance, this is where a lot, I lose my crowd. Sometimes I sit down and I'm doing a meeting with somebody, maybe on Zoom or whatever. But the moment I mention this life insurance, people stand up, they walk away, or they shut their Zoom down. But it's important that just remember that I talked about that what? Life insurance. It's actually a life insurance that you can use while you're still alive. Life insurance, obviously this is just an introduction. It's an introductory course, it's just 101 because we could, we could.
And I think that a lot of people stay away from life insurance because Sister White, she was against what was going on during her. There was a lot of crime in life insurance when it started. But life insurance, people need, especially here in America, you really need it because if you don't have it when it comes to funerals, it's a big problem.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah.
But I think
a lot of us, we've got insurance on our phones, we've got insurance on our watches and everything but dying. Now, life insurance, we can talk about the dying part. We are plagued with so many deaths in our community here. We are plagued with so many deaths. For me, one thing I purposed to do from the very moment I came into this country is whatever I can do to alleviate or to mitigate whatever other issues here, I'll go ahead and do that. Now we're just going to look at the basics. There's 4 types of life insurance. We look at the basics here. Hopefully this will just, this is again just an introduction. Hopefully this will light a little fire for you to get more information. Yeah, there's 4 types of life insurance: group life, term life, whole life, and universal life. Yeah. Now I thank Azana and our president for helping some of us here get coverage. Yeah, I thank our president for doing that. Now, when we talk of group life is usually insurance that you get from your job or through an organization like Azana. And so the life insurance that we have through Azana is called group life. Yeah, what are some advantages of this? It's cheap. Now, if you're getting it from your job, sometimes your job they give it to you for free. Yeah, and disadvantages of this: if you're getting it from your job, for example, those of you who are on your insurance, your life insurance from your job, you are only covered while you are on the clock. The moment you clock out, you go home. Should it be a weekend and you happen to pass, guess what? You're not on the job. Not on the job. Also, benefits are only paid when you die. No way you can benefit from this life insurance, unless you die. So the same applies for what we have with Azana. Now, this is, any insurance is done. So what we have with Azana, this should be an introductory, it should just be an introductory insurance. Yeah? Madam President, yes.
Just a quick one here. Do you mind if I add another advantage?
Not at all. No.
You can throw it, I think. So the other advantage that I saw here when we were doing life insurance is that
absolutely, yes.
You just enter. Yeah. And to piggyback on what Pastor Movita said about life insurance and what LMGY says, when we started our group insurance, I had to do a lot of research because most people who were resisting were putting LNGY. They were saying LNGY says, no, this is not needed. This means you are not trusting God. You think you are going to die. He is not going to protect you. Then I read a little bit about what our general conference says about LNGY and life insurance. The last time she posted about life insurance was 1906. Because after that, everything was structured by the government. Life insurance then was used as some Ponzi scheme to steal money from people, but who can do that now? everything is structured. So life insurance was a business, some people, but no longer that. And Ellen White never posted anything against life insurance after 1906. And the General Conference themselves, they have a life insurance policy
Oh, yeah.
that they offer. So,
Absolutely.
yeah. So yeah, we had a lot of resistance because of supporting Ellen White.
Absolutely, absolutely. So again, some of these advantages I'll give is just brief. We're just running through this. Purposeful fire to, for you to reach out and get your questions answered. Yeah. So anytime you get group life insurance, it's insurance you get either from your job or through a yeah. Only way you get to benefit from that, or only way somebody gets to benefit is when what? When you die. Yeah. Second type of life insurance is called term life insurance. Now, a lot of us are probably familiar with term. Yeah, probably familiar with term. The word term just means temporary. It means it's for a specific period of time. You can buy this for 20, 30, 20 to max is like 30 years or so. Advantages of this type of life insurance is usually cheap. It's cheap, and so you see it highly advertised on TV. It's highly advertised on TV. The advantages of this type of life insurance, there's just some disadvantages of it. Now with term life insurance, there's actually two types of term. There's a regular term, and now there's a type of term which will give you benefits while you're alive. Yeah. But here are the disadvantages of regular term, because this is that's 95% of policies that are term are actually regular. Disadvantage is that it's temporary. So if you buy for 15 years of coverage or 20 years, that's all you're covered for. Another disadvantage, regular term, is that benefits are only paid when you do what? When you die. So to protect you against the critical or the chronic illnesses, and also the very important one is that with term, your premium will increase when your policy terms out. What this means is that if you bought term for 15 or 30 years, for the last 30 years you're paying $50. After the 30 years, what the insurance company will say, okay, yeah, you can go ahead, you can renew your policy, but now instead of $50, guess what? You're paying $500 to $1,000 more. If you're lucky. Yeah, if you're lucky. And so the cost of insurance goes, it gets higher as we get older. But with term, once that 30 or 15 years that you have bought into has elapsed, your premiums are through the roof. Yeah, that's through the roof, and I'll show you what this looks like. Also, with term policy, if you have a term policy and you miss a payment, you miss one payment, your policy will lapse. Your policy will be cancelled. Imagine 30 years you're making payments monthly. Is it possible that you may miss 1 month?
Yes.
Yeah, you could be on vacation in Mfu and you forget that there is a policy that you have to pay. Yeah, and so these are just some of the disadvantages. This is one of the important ones. Most companies, if you have term at age 65, most companies will cancel your policy. Most companies will do that. Now, some companies may extend to like about 72, but majority of the companies, if you have a term policy, they'll cancel your policy at age 65. Yeah. Now, this is an actual policy. This is an actual policy for about a 35-year-old. A 35-year-old, I don't know. Here, let's see if I can zoom in there. How's that? All right. So this is about 35-year-old. This is the death benefits, 1.2 million. That's his premium. The premium is paying annually. So that's $1,000 is paying annually. So monthly would be like what, $80-something. Now, this is a 30-year policy. Now look at what happens after year 30. In year 30, we see that the coverage is still the same. Actually, in year 31, his amount, his face amount is still the same, but how much is he paying? An actual policy. It's an actual policy with somebody. And so with the term policies, yes, they start off, they could be cheap in the beginning. But down the line, after that 30 years or 15 years that you're paid into ends, then your premiums go through the roof. Who can afford $47,000 a premium? Yeah, not at all. Yeah, so it's just important, very important. Now we share this information again. A lot of us don't know anything about this, and that's why I like this room. We've got so many experts, we've got so many people from different fields. I wish we could do this more frequently, where we call all our different, experts and we can share some of this information. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, let's move on. So that's just your term. Whole life is a third type of life insurance. Just as a disadvantage is that you're covered for what, all your life. Yeah, your premium or how much you pay will remain the same forever. And depending on what type of whole life you have, you may be able to do what? You may be able to use it to grow your money. One of the biggest disadvantages of whole life is that it's the most expensive type of life insurance. Yeah? Yeah. Now, we do have the last one, and this is what? The index universal life insurance. Some of the disadvantages of this type of account is what? You have to what? Pass a medical. You have to pass a medical, actually you have to qualify for it. And companies, insurance companies are very strict with this kind of accounts. Yeah, they're very strict. Now, advantages, a lot of what we just talked about. When you talk of living, well, any type of life insurance, actually, this benefit here, this advantage for them, the tax-free death benefit. Any money you get from life insurance is usually tax-free. Any death benefit you get is usually tax-free. Now, with this index universal life insurance, a little bit on that. Also, what this life insurance does is that it allows you to, you can grow your money. You can grow your money and actually access that money completely tax-free. You can do that absolutely tax-free. Yeah? A lot of us, again, when we talk of life insurance, what do they tell us about? Just dying. That's all we've been told about. Nobody has ever said anything about all these other benefits. Life insurance, another benefit is a flexible premium. What this policy allows you to do is that payments, if you have enough money in the account, and in fact, sometimes you can even put money in the account for a number of years and then just leave it here of itself. Yeah? And so, again, this is just a little poke, a little teaser, because there's so much we could spend hours and hours talking about this. Now, own policy. I'm going to show my own policy. Please don't take pictures. I've blacked out some things. But my own policy, I've got $1 million policy. This is actually one of a few policies. But the $1 million policy, for example, and so we talk of critical illnesses. Critical illnesses are things like what? If you have a heart attack, stroke, cancer, blindness, paralysis, kidney issues, and you have to be on dialysis. Yeah? If you lose the limb, you need to have a major organ transplant. Guess what? Just a diagnosis. I don't have to die. Just a diagnosis, I will have what? The insurance company will give me up to $900,000. Up to $900,000. Now, you don't have to do $1 million. You could do less. You could do whatever, whatever you're able to afford. But the take home is this. Should I be diagnosed with a critical illness? And usually the insurance company will give you that list of illnesses. It's an exclusive list of things. So just a diagnosis, I've got what? Up to $900,000 coming to me. And now I don't have to be a burden to my own family as much as they love me, as much as Azana loves me. I don't have to be a burden to them. And so, we're talking about living behind a legacy. Some ways people lose money. You get sick, that $500,000 that you have saved in the bank or in stocks, the moment you're diagnosed with cancer and you cannot work anymore, what happens? You start tapping into that money for treatment. You start at any time. I'm running on time. All right. Chronic illness is defined as any time you're not able to do any two of the 6 activities of daily living. If I cannot dress myself or feed myself, for example, yeah, guess what? I'll have money coming to me up to what? 900,000. Now, this chronic illness, this is also known as just getting old. You get old and you can't feed or dress yourself, you can't go to the bathroom on your own, you cannot do any two of those, you've got money coming to you. We talk of long-term care. Long-term care is something that we don't talk about. And yet a lot of us are going to get old. Some of us are almost there. And you reach a stage in life where you cannot feed or dress yourself, whatever, you've got money coming to you. Now, you may not get a heart attack, or a stroke, or cancer, or getting a car accident, or anything like that. Old age coming to you. Is it coming for me? Old age, it's not a matter of if. It's just a matter of when. And so either way, old age is coming. Yeah, I'll have money coming. So, terminal illness. Terminal illness, this is another benefit of this account. If a doctor tells me that I've got 12 months to live, I'm told I've got 12 months to live or less, guess what? Insurance company will give me access to all my money. All my money. Yeah? Another item of this account, you can use it to grow your money. You can use it to grow your money. Now, we've been talking about all these places you can actually invest in and grow your monies and all of that. Technically, life insurance is not an investment. It's not an investment. I'm required to say that according to IRS and all that. Yeah. But it's not a place. It's not technically an investment, although it acts as one. You can actually put money in there, and your money grows for you. And so, with life insurance, your money grows for you. There is what we call a cap and a floor. Cap is the maximum that your account can make. The floor is the minimum. With the life insurance, when you have money in this index account, the minimum that you are guaranteed to make, and the company actually, this is a contract, they'll tell you that you'll make a minimum of what? 0% is what most companies will do. 0% at the lowest you can make. So when the stock market, for example, is in the negatives, the worst that your account will do is what? Yeah, you won't get anything, but the upside is what? You won't lose anything as well. Yeah? Now, my own account, for example, my own account has a floor or a minimum of 0.75. So when the stock market is down, when the stock market is in the negative, if the stock market goes below 0.75%, guess how much I'm making? 0.75%. Stock market goes up, my growth will mirror that of whatever indexes that mine was put in. And so take home is this, and I hope you're still following. The take home is you can use life insurance to grow your money. And the only guarantee that they give you is that when the stock market is in the negatives, you will not lose money because of the stock market being in the negatives. Yeah? Apart from that, money out of your life insurance account. I was talking to a group of people like this, and a lot of people thought I was making up stuff. They thought I was a scammer. Yeah, so what did I do? I told them, Zambians, I said, you can actually take money out of your life insurance. This IUL, not all that, the Azana life insurance, you can't do that, no? Your term, you can't. So what did I do? I called my insurance company and took some money, took a check out. I asked them to send a check, just to show. Because a lot of, some of the benefits. Now, life insurance is not just for people. Banks have money. This is just some info from about 2 years ago. I don't know if you can see from the back there, but Bank of America, for example, 19 billion sitting in the life insurance account. Yeah? US Bank had about 5 billion in life insurance account. Now, if life insurance is as bad as we are told to believe, and if it's all about dying, why would all these banks put money in life insurance? Yeah? Also, there's numerous other companies. Most of your major companies have money sitting in life insurance. They've got money sitting in life insurance. Starbucks, yeah, Verizon has the majority of its liquid wealth invested in what? In insurance products that promise rates of returns. Why does he have more in the insurance industry than he does in the Federal Reserve System? I wonder. This is ironically considered to be so safe, allow life insurance policies owned by banks to meet their tier 1 capital requirements. In fact, as of June, yeah, you get the picture. And so, this is a topic that's hardly talked of. A lot of us, again, when we talk of life insurance, we're thinking of death, and so a lot of people have avoided the conversation. However, when we talk of leaving behind a legacy, life insurance is a tool that you can use to do that. Another tool. What tool can you go from having nothing to having $1 million should anything happen to you? Yeah, what other tool? Nothing. Life insurance, as our quote says on there, it's like a parachute. If you don't have it the first time you need it, there is no second chance. Yeah. So again, why are we sharing this here? Somebody has to hear this. We need to know what's out there. This type of life insurance has been around for years and years. And yet when stuff like this is marketed to people like us, what do they tell us? They only tell us about the one that you need, when you benefit from when you die. And so We'll take a few questions. That's me and my lovely madam over there. Yes, but I'll take a few questions. I know we should have at least one question with all this that we have covered. Now, some questions I may not be able to answer. I may not be able to answer because if you ask me a personal question, just in respect for your own privacy, you know, I may not be able to answer that. But ask away any general questions you may have. Uncles, yes.
Well, thank you very much for the presentation. My question may be personal to you.
Sure, absolutely. Go ahead.
Yeah, so it's the premium.
Yeah.
Like the $1 million policy. How much premium?
How much you pay? Number one, and of course, for somebody like myself, when I applied for this account, I was 35 years old. I'm 37 right now. I'm 30. Am I 37? Yes. I have to think about that. Yes. So my premium. I'll be honest with you. $1 million premium for me. What I put in right now is about $7,000 a year. $7,000 a year. Now, these accounts have options. They've got options. I put, there's a minimum that the account allows you to put. I'm putting extra. Why am I putting extra? Because I want, some growth. I've got some plans in the next 3 or 5 years down the line. There's some things I'm trying to accomplish. So really, I was a little hesitant on answering your question, but sit down, actually sitting down with an agent and going through your own specific needs. And this can be tailor-made to what? Your actual budget and to suit what you are looking for. Yeah? If you're looking for something smaller, you can get even as small as 100,000. Small as 100,000, which, by the way, is a huge deal. Imagine a policy that's 100,000, you're diagnosed with a heart attack, you're still around, and they give you what, $90,000. You get $90,000. With that, you don't have to start calling Azana president for whatever donations and all of that. And so even the smallest of policies, even the smallest coverage, better than none. And that's why we thank God for Azana and for us being insured. Yes, it's group insurance, we've got 25,000, but that's better than what? Better than nothing. Yeah, yes. Thank you. I think, did you have your hand up, Elvin?
No, same question.
Same? Okay. Yeah. So there's options. Don't let my own number scare you. But there's options.
Yeah. So you listed several types of life insurances. Which one are you insured in? Because you gave us like 4. Which one do you recommend and which one are you using?
Well, with that we would have to sit down. When we talk about your own, I cannot recommend anything to everybody because I don't know your situation. But a one-on-one would, just go through your own, your own situation. Yes. All right. Any other questions? Man, did I do a good job, or did I do a good job? No questions. Yes, please.
One more, so for a younger person like you have
Yes.
that amount. So the older person definitely.
The take home though is always what you're able to afford. And by the way, one thing I missed out on, kids.
Exactly.
It's very cheap, like for a 0-year-old, for even the small, cost like $36 a month. You put that every year, you're putting money in there. By age 18, you've got something for college for the kids. Yes. And so this is what I love about our, our Zungus who know him. They set their kids up from the go. I had a friend, I'm going to end with this here. I had a friend when I was in nursing school. That guy, country guy, he lived too far. And this guy, I would always struggle with school fees. Every semester, I'm struggling with school fees. But this guy is okay. Every on time, school fees are paid on time. And I asked this guy, I'm like, man, I know you're not rich at all because I know, you've told me some of your stories, but how are you able to pay school fees every semester in this private school on time? Every time, no issues. He told me the parents have life insurance, they've had a policy for him for years. Yeah, they had a policy for him for years. Guess what? He gets married a few years later. The parents give him as a wedding gift what? $50,000. From where? From the life insurance. Yeah, from their life insurance. What if we could do that for our kids? What if you could bless your child with what, $50,000? You know, we talk about leaving a legacy. This is something that enables the ordinary person to be able to leave behind a legacy. You know, obviously life insurance, the goal of life insurance is always to leave behind the death, you know, to leave behind that money for death. And last time I checked, I think all of us are going to die, yeah? And so you've got all these other extra benefits. And so our time is just about done. I've got my number on there. Get my number. If you have questions, you can reach me and we can talk a little more about your own situation. Again, thank you, Azana and Madam President, for inviting me to share these few words. Hopefully we've learned something today. Learn something and do something about it. Yeah? Thank you very much.
So, 10 minutes of is just